This video is about how to place your art in the world around you. This is all about how to get published or publish your own work. So I am Michael Barltrop, and you can find me at whatbinder.com, or you can find me at Twitter at Mr. Barltrop. Margaret Atwood said, publishing a book is like stuffing a note into a bottle and hurling it into the sea. Some bottles drown and some come safe to land, where the notes are read and then possibly cherished, or else misinterpreted, or else understood all too well by those who hate the message. You never know who your readers might be. The thing that I want to focus on is once you throw that bottle into the sea, sometimes they drown and sometimes they come to land. No matter what, it's okay, because the important part is hurling that bottle into the sea. We're going to take a look at some ideas for written work. There are a couple of different ways to publish written work. You could just send snail mail, send a letter, get it out into the world that way. You could submit it to a magazine, or you could submit it to a book publisher. You can find more specifics about this at that URL below. If you are sending mail, it's important to know that in Canada, you can send letters to a number of politicians without using any postage. That means you can just write a postcard, address it, and put it in the mail. Or write a letter, put it in an envelope, address it, and put it in the mail. You do not have to pay the stamp to get it out there. So this is a great option for those who want to try to make a difference, but don't have that 85 cents or however much a stamp costs these days. The prices keep changing. If you're submitting to a magazine, you might want to use websites like Hey Publisher. This is a searchable database where you can look up what your genre is, you can look up what type of magazine you want, and it will give you hundreds of suggestions that take you right to their submission page. It's a great time saver for those who want to submit to multiple locations. And then if you're submitting to a book publisher, you need to write a query letter. What is a query letter? You can find out at that site. It'll explain to you. It's basically you selling your book in a few hundred short words and see if you can get the publisher's attention. Some of the best practices are put there, and that is a great place to get started. Now, what if you want to self-distribute your own piece? What channels are open for that? Well, you can do a guerrilla art campaign. You can have your very own online store, or you can try to sell on consignment through someone else's store. If you're doing a guerrilla art campaign, please keep it legal. Take a look at all of Toronto's bylaws at the attached link to this slide. The slide deck will be in the comments below, and you can make sure that you are staying safe and within the law. But there are a number of really exciting guerrilla art projects out there. There was one in Toronto where people put a number of different pop cultural icons on all of those neighborhood watch signs. And that was a great way for them to add their art to change the world around them. Maybe you want to sell at an online shop. There are shops like Redbubble where you upload your image files and you can put them on stickers or on t-shirts, all sorts of different things. And when somebody buys them, you get $1 or $2. It's not a way to get rich, but it is a way to get your work out there at no cost to yourself. You might also want to try to put an app on the Google Play Store. There's a one-time $25 fee to get your app on the Play Store, but once you've paid that, you can do apps for the rest of your life. It's a great way to make sure that there's a wide range of people who can access it, and you can send it to friends and family members who will probably know how to download from that location. For those looking to create on the cheap, itch.io allows you to create a website and a web store, upload your product, set your price, or make it free, and get your piece out into the world there. Thinking about stores but not wanting to do that legwork, there is Consignment. So you may need to self-publish your piece first. The Toronto Public Library has the Asquith Press that lets you make a number of physical books at a very reasonable price. But if you don't want to make any money investment, you can just use the MS Word booklet printing and print them off at home, photocopy them, staple them in the middle, and off you are good to go. By using the booklet printing option in MS Word, it will automatically arrange the pages so that they print out front and back flipped on the short edge with a fold in the middle. And once you have your piece, be it a book or a painting, you can try to sell on consignment by going to different stores and asking, hey, will you host this for me? It could be a digital storefront. It could be a physical storefront. That's up to you. And more information on selling on consignment can be found at that link. Next, what if you've created a media art piece? What can you do with that? Well, you could try to get it put in a gallery. You could submit it to radio or television or to film festivals. If you are submitting to galleries, you may want to take a look at some of the best practices on how to submit to galleries. But once you do, you basically go in and say, this is my piece, this is an image of my piece. Would you put it up for a showing? Some are more likely than others. Some actually sell on consignment. Get to know your local galleries and find out what pieces work best for them. The Toronto Library also allows you to host a gallery, and there's more information there. Of course, before you do try to approach anyone, you should learn what the best practices are. And there is an article here that will let you know what you need to do to make sure you are prepared for the exciting world of your own gallery show. If you're submitting to radio or television, you may want to check out the CBC Independent Producers link. This will help you learn what that process is like and explain all of the different ways that you might best approach them. Now, if you've created a song, different radio stations have their own song submission website. You can actually submit your song in MP3 format through a number of these websites. Take a look for the radio station website in your area or in areas you think might best fit your created piece and try to submit to them. And finally, film festivals. Again, you want to make sure you know what you should do and what you shouldn't do before you submit. But once you know how to submit, you can take a look at Film Freeway, which aggregates a number of different film festivals, allowing you to quickly find access to different festivals that would best suit your piece. And there are other sorts of art festivals that you can submit to. You can try to get a booth to set up to put your own piece out there into the world. No matter how you try to put your work out there, there are different venues that will best suit your own preference and your own ideas, and all of them are equally valid. Now, before you go off onto your own, it might be best to take a look at some advice from creators. These 6 creators have been kind enough to allow me to interview them, and they have given some tips for all of you out there on what the creation process is like. There's the URL there. And what you might need to prepare for. They explain some of the benefits of putting your work out there and some of the unforeseen hardships. Again, each of these images will link directly to their spotlight, and you can check that out if you access the slide deck through the comments below. But one of the most important things that I want to leave you with is, once again, it's not the success or the failure, but the attempt that you really need to remember. At the end of all of this, it doesn't matter if your work is published or if your work is not published. The important thing is that you have learned the skills to become a creator and put yourself out there in the world. Not everything you do is going to be great, but you can say, this is what I made today. Tomorrow I may make something better, but this is what I made today and I'm proud of it. And it's important that you give it the chance to get out into the world so others can be proud of it too. Thanks very much. If you have any questions, you can of course find me online at Mr. Barltrop or whatbinder.com. And I would like to thank Slides Carnival for this template. All right. Enjoy creating.